So it looks like we are online. Hello, everybody. Hello, Olena. This is
Hi, Daniel.
Hi. This is the second podcast in this channel. So today we are talking about Scrum events, and the topic you bring to the table was the retrospectives. So this is Daniel Shailan um, for Liberating Talks, Open Coaching Network, and okay, I will be sharing today this open space and we will sharing to the channel. How are you doing, Olena?
Thank you. I am fine. Looking forward to start our conversation.
Hmm. You feel good now?
Yeah,
Mhm.
a
Nice,
bit
nice to know.
excited.
So excited. Good. Me too. So let us know a little bit about your background, your history, Olena.
Mhm. Yeah, so my name is Olena Fedak. I've been working in IT consultancy for already 5 years. However, in agile world, I'm quite new, actively involved for 2 years. And 2 months ago, I got my first project where I am in a role of Scrum Master.
Hmm.
And so I'm here today with Daniel to share how my journey is going so far.
Hmm. Good. Thank you. Okay, from my side, okay, I come from Argentina. I'm living momentarily in Germany. Coaching. I was coaching agile teams since 2007. That's already more than 15 years, and also now going deep into cultural change topics and coaching and learning processes. So let's start with the podcast today. So today topic is retrospectives. So for those who are not familiar to the Scrum framework, so the Scrum framework presents 5 events and it works in iterations that we call sprints. And at the end of that iteration, the last meeting of the sprint is the retrospective. Maybe someone could be curious why we start from the last meeting
No,
in
yeah.
and not from the first one. Yeah, that will be interesting curiosity. My opinion regarding that, I think in the Scrum framework, the retrospective is the most important meeting. Actually, is the most relevant one in terms of agility, and is the only one event or meeting that is named in the Agile Manifest or in the Manifest for Agile Software Development. When in the principle that it declares that the team meets and reflects periodically on how to improve. This is the retrospective. This is the only one Scrum meeting that is named or mentioned in the manifest.
I agree with
So,
you. Yeah. If someone asked me if you want to leave just one event in Scrum, I would name retrospective.
absolutely, totally agree. Why you say that?
Uh, because I think that event and also what is happening inside retrospective, that's where we as a team are growing and also each of us as a personality grows. So that's in my opinion is a beauty of Scrum.
Mhm. Wow, cool. Yeah, true. Um, if we do Scrum without the retrospective, what will be losing or what will be missing?
uh, I think it won't be Scrum. Yes, and I think it will be just doing task things without improvements or without awareness. Oh, I would say without awareness.
Awareness. Wow, beautiful. True. We will like a hamster in a wheel, repeating, repeating, repeating,
Yeah,
but not never going up or right or left or changing or improving. Cool. Um,
it's like
so
following the plan without understanding if that plan is still valid or if
correct.
that plan is our plan.
Yes. So as a biological being, the human beings, we are learning beings. We are learning constantly. One of the key elements of a Scrum is empiricism. Scrum is based in empiricism, and empiricism is based on doing experiments and learning from those experiments. So it's not only doing experiments, but also learning from those experiments. So what you can extract from those experiments that can make you better, that can make you stronger, smarter, or intelligent, that you can make better decisions as individual, as a team, as an organization. And then we could say maybe that the retrospective is the core of the learning phenomenon inside the Scrum.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Mhm.
Exactly.
So, what's your concern today regarding retrospectives?
Uh,
W-
I'm I'm thinking that yeah, we can so uh we can bring today topic, yeah, how to prepare a retrospective and what our thoughts as a scrum masters are when we are choosing questions or yeah, so how to how to
Mm,
deal with retrospective. So
mhm,
and when I'm thinking about, okay, tomorrow I'm gonna have retrospective with my team. So I'm thinking, okay, what question should I bring to the table?
mhm,
And then I think the fun part starts.
mhm.
And maybe you can share, yes, uh, from your experience, how do you choose questions or
Well, in my experience, I had many types of retrospectives. It's very frequent that retrospective becomes emotional sometimes especially when the team express a commitment towards a goal and there is disalignment in these commitments. There is different perspectives,
the
and we
goal
need
is
to explore.
reached?
Yeah, but taking the position of the Scrum Master, I would not ask myself what I want to bring in the retro. I will try to ask myself, how can we create a retro? In my experience, when the Scrum Master abandoned the team because he's on holidays or he's on sick leave or is just abandoning the team, usually teams don't keep doing the retrospectives. It's like they abandon the retrospective because maybe they still don't understand what value they can extract from these retros and how that can be a different in their life. And it actually is their privilege and their right to do a retrospective instead of having a commander boss to tell them only do task, 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 and fill your time with tasks. Why you take 2 hours for a retrospective or 1 hour? This is a waste of time. Go back to your task. This is all time or 19th century management. Um, so today we have the privilege to have a retrospective. It's an honor, it's a privilege. I don't understand many times why some teams abandon it as a practice. So,
That's interesting, yeah,
uh-huh.
to understand why teams can abandon this event because, yeah, it's actually something you would like to have in your workspace and also in your life. Yeah, but then I'm thinking that it brings a question of safety. Yeah, so people do not feel safe to express what they feel or what they think or bring the feedback. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why they feel like, okay, we don't need that. So
Mm-hmm.
let's hide. Yes, and let's pretend. Let's wear masks and yeah, let's feel instead some mattresses or some, yes, and everything is fine.
Mm-hmm. Well, so then you bring the point of psychological safety for
Yes.
retrospective. I think this is critical.
And also sometimes capacity. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes people feel like, okay, I would rather spend that time to finish my tasks because I have that many and just keep the energy for myself. So it also can be that if it's a really small team and they work together and they have really good working yes environment, so they feel like okay we already know and we just talk over the coffee and in every day, so we don't need to have that retrospective and someone else yes just to facilitate it, just give us time and we go to have a beer in the evening or
Mm-hmm.
something. So that also can be like the reason why people think it's not for us.
You made me remember now a story where a team told me, we don't want to do retrospectives. We don't want it. Then I think at that moment I asked them, okay, how do you want to improve? So you don't want to do retros? Okay, we don't do it. And they were like, really? "Well, yeah, we don't do retrospectives. But bring a proposal to the organization on how you're going to improve, how you're going to find your improvements.
And what they
And
told you.
yeah, because they are still accountable of bringing improvements. So, okay, you are not accountable to have retrospectives, but your accountability to improve your work is intrinsic. How you're going to improve? How, how can I help you to improve? Or how you want to manage your improvements? Because if you don't think on managing your improvements, maybe you already consider that you're perfect and immutable being. So improvement is part of the process, and learning is part of the improvement. And at the point to make people aware of their accountability and making these questions invite them to be grown up adults and take ownership of their accountability. Because okay, you don't want to follow this methodology, no problem.
Yeah.
What methodology you propose?
Did they
Uh,
propose something instead of
no,
active?
no,
No.
no, no, because it's more easy to say, okay, I have an expert in Scrum Agility. Okay, help us to set up things, and we just flow. Yeah, of course,
Okay.
it's more, that's more cheap, but could be really interesting discussion if someone brings with an interesting process for improvement. Actually, I would love to do it to design a new way to improve. Why not? But if
Oh,
they are not to,
yeah, I think that's the highest level. if
Yeah,
someone say I don't want, but I have suggestion.
yeah, that's a grown-up adult. Yes,
Yeah, or if a team together say we don't want it, but we have suggestion. Yeah, that's I think. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Because the
that's
other position
recently
is,
amazing.
yeah, because the other position is you are going to do retrospective because I am your Scrum Master. Yeah, but
Yeah,
this is 18th century, so this is not what we are dealing with now. So
yeah,
all this agility and Scrum and all these things is a new relation phenomenon. It's a new way of leadership. It's a new way of co-creation. It's a new way of relating each other. It's a new way of being a team. So make nonsense to come back to other centuries. We are already in 21.
yeah, and I think that's why for some people and for some teams, it's difficult because it's very sensitive. It's not only about work and their skills; it's about them.
Yes, yes. And this is a beautiful point because also what we can bring as scrum masters or coaches or whatever we call us um, is a context where we can really have appreciation inquiry. So we don't only watch defects and problems. We also dedicate time to celebrate success, to appreciate colleagues, to say thank you, to really reward and recognize well done things.
Yeah, yeah. So we start from something which goes well, yes, which we
Hmm.
are happy about.
Hmm.
And I think that also open the door for a feedback what went not that well, because even visually, when you feel like the column, green columns, and then yeah, you feel like okay, those red columns we also can feel, and it will be less anyway. We cannot, yes, yeah, and I think it helps people because it's visually like okay, that's fine, yeah, it's just let's do it, and yeah,
Fine. Uh,
and I think in time they don't feel that much, you know, uh, uh, how to say, that much stress. Yeah, so it's just the same to say your opinion and your feedback. So the green and red one just are colors, but the contents is the same positive because we are learning. Yes, and we are figuring out and exploring. Yeah,
mhm,
so and what I observed from discussions, that first retrospectives are like okay, if something is not okay, it's very like, you know, people emotionally feel different to express, but
mhm,
now it's more or less the same. Yeah, some topics of course are sensitive, but it's more or less the same. We're just sharing, and we are happy to discover.
mhm.
So that's, I found really good progress, and makes retrospective um, I think more fun and even enjoyable.
Mhm.
Not even enjoyable.
Yeah, because at the end, you're right. At the end is what value they perceive from the retro. It's
Hmm.
not just to fulfill processes or satisfy bosses. It's what do you extract as a team from this retro? And I think the easiest way for us to prepare retrospective is to not prepare it. So you can organize or have a strategy or an idea what kind of format you want, but let it open. Don't make it too detailed plan. Make a abstract draft plan because we want retrospective to be chaotic. we want it to be spontaneous, authentic, to be themselves. The retrospective need to be something done by the people and for the people, and and something that they really want to use for themselves. Um, so then, as a Scrum Master, I'm the catalyst in the retro. So
You mean as Scrum Masters, we really need to step a bit aside and let things happen.
mhm,
So
yes,
it should be like a feeling that you're there, but you make us free to choose.
mhm.
It's not your plan, it's more like no plan. We are just here and we are using this opportunity, right?
Yes, and you can improve from retro to retro. So because the retrospective itself is not the improvement process. The improvement process is 24/7. It's all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's not inside the retro. The retro is a checkpoint where we meet each other and we make assessments. We try to make things visible, and we try to create common understandings about the challenges we are having. But this is the small debate and small democracy meeting where we make decisions as a team, what we want to improve, how we want to improve, why we want to improve. Okay, but this is the discussion, but then the improvement is every day.
Mm-hmm. And I
So,
wanted to ask, yeah, how to use these learning outcomes from retrospective that we can then improve next sprint. So maybe, yeah, we can share our experiences or thoughts about that.
mhm.
So when we have retrospective, and then yeah, we know what is good, what is not that good. What do you do after?
Well, many coaches have an improvement backlog, or they have a conference page, or they have some kind
Mhm.
of a wiki page where they collect all the elements. And then they can keep an update. Okay, with this issue we discussed, what is the progress here? What is the outcome? What is the status? So to have a visible page or board where at any time any team member can go and watch what's doing there, and you can bring it to the dailies and to make them remember. Okay, remember that this is our improvement board, and if there were some specific commitment to remind them or this kind of thing. This is a practice um, that can be useful, but we need to drink carefully because it creates dependency.
Mhm.
The most you babysit the team, the most it became dependent on the Scrum Master. So, but you need to decide how deep you go. It depends on the team necessities and maturity.
Mhm.
So that's why the Scrum Master is the most adaptive role in the
Yeah.
system.
Yeah. So from my experience, we started from retrospective and just uh, did it. Yes, we had some action items, um, but then yeah, we just focused more on the process. And now what I added in the end, we have summary. So now I make a summary. So like up to 5 points. Yes, based on their voting. So we have voting system. So based on the voting, I make these 5 points, and we have the page where it's visible, like the whole board and plus the summary. And then I try to implement in our events. Like okay, for example, last time the topic about energy management and resourceness
Mhm.
came to play. So on Friday we have day where we do not talk about working task, and I suggested to talk about energy management, what brings energy and what takes it out, but more about our life. So not just work, but more just because it goes outside. Yeah. So
Mhm.
it was really a nice discussion, not even discussion, just a talk. Yes, and then I will try, yeah, to introduce other points within the sprint, just to remind that okay, we talked on retrospective. What your ideas? Yes, and then I think I will let the team to make a summary. Yes, so based on retrospective, that together we create these summary points.
Mhm.
Yeah, so just step
Yeah.
by step, because I feel like uh, if you put too much on a team and you give more freedom that they need, yes, that
Mhm.
also can be sometimes overwhelming, and they feel not that free to choose, but more like frustration. I need to do something and I don't know what to do.
Mhm.
So I feel like step by step approach uh, for now in my team works good. Even
Mhm.
though I really see potential, and sometimes I feel like they can do everything right now. Yes. But it's like, you need to balance between this feeling that people have potential and you see it, but maybe, yeah, they also need some time.
Mhm.
And also they need to feel it, and then to bring, yeah, to open that potential when they want, not when I want them to talk or to decide or to act.
Yes, I agree. What comes to my mind right now is the comparison between the old school system, the elementary school, and the new methods that are still not implemented but are coming, are a tendency. In the old school, the system was totally standardized for everybody. So if you have 40 kids in a classroom, the 40 need to fulfill the system expectations. And this, of course, was a failure in terms of learning. And now we are moving into slowly, very slowly, but we are moving into a system that the system adapts to the students. So I think this is the paradigm shift. This is why Scrum exists. This is why we are Scrum Masters. This is why agility was conceived, because there is a shift paradigm. The world is changing to a new paradigm. And this new paradigm is not to put people to serve of the system, but to put the system at service for the people. And this turn, coming back to the retrospective, is to really give them the chance to decide and be owners of their own space. And so we cannot be directive in the retro, but we can be provocative. So we can challenge them to go beyond their limits. We can open spaces for the teams, but we cannot design or plan how they are going to learn. The learning phenomenon is unpredictable. It will happen how it happens. We should just follow it as it is and pay attention to what necessities arising to take care of it, to take care of the process. So
Yes, to
our role
improve.
is more like that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, so we need to improve our observer skills
mhm,
rather than skills to act.
exactly. And the question is important. That's why we need to bring open questions. We need to bring questions that open space of discovery, that open possibilities for the team. And this is real coaching. That's why the Scrum Master is a coach. This is a real coaching. And when you open possibilities for the team becomes more smarter, more expanded. And then the team can create more value for everybody, for themselves and for the company.
Yeah, exactly. You mentioned like we should have good coaching skills. And when I
Mhm.
start as a scrum master, I thought, okay, it's like 80% of facilitation and 20% of coaching. So that was my feeling. But now in 2 months, I feel like, okay, it's already 70 and 30. So,
Okay.
and it came from my team. So I
Hmm.
felt like at the beginning, yeah, just 20 is enough, and really they need a lot of facilitation. But now I feel okay, they already need more coaching. Yes. And let's see how it will move. But I really feel that. So facilitation is already, I
Hmm.
mean, they already know. Yeah, I mean, that's very simple. Scrum is simple in terms of events and what's going on. Yes. But then, yeah, once they know all technical aspects, then they need coaching. Yes, they really ask for that. Even their questions are different now.
Hmm. Absolutely. I think of myself the times the moments in my life I desperately search for coaching is when I need to have a different point of view. I
Yeah.
realize that I need a new point of view, and especially when I'm making big decisions or when I'm experiencing strong emotions that don't let me watch clearly what's going on around me or inside me. And these are the moments where I mostly need coaching. And the team also needs to develop its emotional intelligence. And this is only doable through self discovery.
Yeah. And yeah, and this self discovery, yeah, it is also something. I don't know, it is just from one side is facilitation, but from other side is coaching. Yes,
Hmm.
because now if on retrospective, for example, the topic like difficult clients, yeah, so I have experience with difficult clients. I feel like the person doesn't lack of skills of communication or skills about the topic or the product. It's about coaching, because maybe that client is not difficult, it's just perspective, and you need to help to understand why do you feel that that client is difficult, and another one is just okay.
Hmm. But there is one factor that I remember now that is critical. So we cannot say that it's 70/30, 20/80. Depends on the situation and
Yeah.
depends on the team you're coaching. Um, if they want from myself only that I facilitate meetings, I will do it. It's okay. It's what they are asking for. Maybe in that case, I will do 95% facilitation and I will leave a 5% open for coaching because maybe they need more what I believe. Um, but I will not be against what they ask for. I'm not who to do it. Um, the point is, whatever you are going to do in the retro with the team is a we. We are going to do it, not I doing it. I don't prepare the retro. I don't facilitate the retro. The retro is something that we together are doing. So the main point is a co-creation. And In the term of the co-creation, as a Scrum Master or a coach, you are able or capable to do only what the relation allows you to. So the relation that is flowing among the team, including you as part of the system, is what will constrain what are you able to achieve or perform in the retro. So I cannot do challenging questions if the relation is not at that level. So if we don't have the confidence and trust to be so much open, I cannot make open questions.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, and also I feel like if I cannot ask that question to myself, that I cannot
Hmm.
ask it to my team, because
Hmm.
sometimes yeah, we have now a lot of information and tools and retrospective methodologies, yes, and they are very attractive, and sometimes we feel like, okay, let's bring that retrospective, and yeah, and let's see. But then now I ask myself if I if I want to bring that retrospective to myself, because sometimes it's like you feel at that moment maybe, yeah, it's too much to ask for openness, or it's too complicated, or
Hmm.
yeah, or I don't feel like someone challenged me in that way. So I feel like, okay, I need to think. Yeah, so I have now that feeling. First of all, I need to be comfortable. If I am not comfortable, my team won't be comfortable.
Fantastic. Fantastic. I totally concur with that. Yeah. Yeah, we need to stop thinking in I, you. We need to start thinking in systems.
Yeah,
And
yeah, but also, yeah, I agree with you that we need to shift, like, we, yes, but then I feel like as Scrum Master, we also can use ourselves, yes, for exploration. So it's like, if you feel uncomfortable, then there is a big chance that your team or some members feel also uncomfortable. So
mhm,
it's like, yeah, of course it can be opposite, and it can be like you feel comfortable and team feel uncomfortable. That also can happen. So yes, but I felt like more comfortable, I feel about what I propose, or yes, or bring to the table, even in, yeah, it usually, it, yeah, very often brings some challenging question and situation, but I feel comfortable with that, and then people feel comfortable to that challenge, and that, yeah, from the very beginning I feel like, okay, it's a bit emotional, why that question or why this, but in the end they are so excited about yes, some approach or outcomes, and you feel that they feel like, wow, that's cool, we didn't see that, and
mhm.
that's that's why we are here. And
Absolutely.
yeah, and I also made a retrospective about retrospective. Yes, so where I got those feedbacks.
That's good.
Yeah, and we started to talk about like uncomfortable situation. So do you have experience as a scrum master to have some situation when you felt frustrated, or
Of course, I'm a human being, but the frustration comes from our expectations, and expectatives are how can I say, expectations could be a good tool, but generally they are more a problem than a solution. Our own expectations is more probable to become a problem than a solution. And when we have our expectations, from there comes our frustration. If we don't have any expectation, what frustration you will have?
Yeah, that's I can relate to what you're talking. Um, I do not have clear opinion about expectation now, as I am working on my relation with expectation.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
so yeah, I'm exploring because I
Okay.
feel like sometimes it works well for me to have some expectations, but sometimes, yeah, it's part of a problem,
Mhm.
not a solution. And somehow to get that feeling when expectations work for us and when against us, for now, yeah, I don't have it for now.
Okay,
It's exploration mode.
good. But coming back to your question, uh, Mike has, I think, a huge diversity of experiences in my way, and in some way, I'm summarizing maybe in this conversation all the learnings. So, learning how to detach, how to not babysit, how to focus on the relation, how to don't hold expectations, try to discover on the way, uh, focus on the value, focus on the learning. These are mostly my accumulated learnings from my experience, that I should be thankful for accumulate a lot of failures, because that way I accumulate a lot of learnings, and a lot of frustrations also, because then in the frustration I discover myself, because the frustration is something that is not working inside of me. It has nothing to do with the external world. Um, in this point, I would say that we need to be open to whatever happens. And I don't want to be too much abstract. I think this is more a coaching topic than retrospectives. But I would say we need to learn to accept whatever appears. This is most a Maturana idea, that whatever it is what it is. And what's my problem with it? So when we say, okay, the team does not want to do the retro, what is my issue with that? Why that's a problem? When we say, okay, maybe people are just talking about, complaining about that the printer is not working. Okay, what's going on inside of me when I experience that? Do I get anger? Do I get frustrated? I feel sad? Do I feel in front of the phenomenon? I should not blame the phenomenon. Just the environment is doing what they do. So that's why we talk about maturity, and that's why we talk about our maturity as a Scrum Masters, and also the team maturity as a system. And what we can say is that we can hold stance or a mentality that help us to learn and to evolve, or we can hold a mentality that close us to learning and keep us to conserve our status, even if it's good or bad. And our job is to open. And when to open the team, we can only master how to help the team to self-open when we learn how we can be open to learning
Yeah,
inside of us. So our only one field of action is inside of us.
yeah, and here I can add that we also need to be open to show that we are human being and we fail. Yes. Because if we don't do that, how we can expect from a team? Yes. And sometimes I feel we can be in a trap that, okay, I am Scrum Master or I am, yeah. So I need to, yes, to handle most of things, and at least I cannot be angry with a printer, because yes, that's just printer. But sometimes we can really say, yeah, it's just make me angry that printer doesn't work.
Yeah.
And people will say, come on, like, yeah, but yeah, it's I think very difficult for a scrum master to be open about printer stuff. And sometimes we are angry with printers, as
Of
all,
course. Of
yes,
course.
all human beings.
Yes.
And also we feel like, okay, that's not something we as a scrum master bring to retrospective. And then, yeah, our expectation is that other people won't bring printing topics to the retrospective,
Yeah.
and then we feel like frustrated. But then I would say, thank you very much to bring that topic, because other people maybe have issue with something also like technical, which is quite important, but they think, okay, I cannot bring some small issues. Yes, we are talking like about energy management, about some, philosophy, and just like, I don't know, I have outdated Excel. Yes, or my computer doesn't work, yes, with the speed which is needed for, yeah, yeah, and then it day by day make the work harder, and we don't know about that, and we cannot help, and the solution can be very easy for organization, just to provide new laptop, or yeah, new version of Excel.
Yeah. How do you feel with this conversation till here?
Yeah, I feel like we brought important topics, and uh, not only about retrospective, but also about Scrum. Yes, and yeah, I feel that okay, this conversation exceeded my expectations,
Okay, that's good.
and I had expectations.
So maybe that's the source of happiness, to lower your expectations, and you will be happy.
But they were, I think, middle level. Yes. Um, I mean, yes, on my scale.
Yeah, for my side, me too. I feel that the learning phenomenon happened in the conversation, and it was um, surprise. I'm surprised that we could extract so deep topics and try to explain them in the most easiest way with more simple language. I really enjoy the conversation flow, and I think many times we say, "Okay, it's a shame that we didn't record this conversation at the end," but this time we recorded, and
Or that, yes.
that's good. It's good to forget that we were recording, then we can focus on the flow. And now we remember that we were recording, and then I should ask you if it's okay for you if I publish this in YouTube.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you. And so then, if you agree, we can proceed with the checkout.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um,
So then,
so
what do you take out from this conversation?
I think I wrote it down, like make it open. So retrospective, make it open. So I have idea that one retrospective, I will just share empty board and I will ask, do you see empty board? And yeah, I think everyone says yes, but let's see. Yeah, and then I will tell that's our retrospective, and we create questions for our retrospective.
Nice. So for myself, I extract the awareness of the relation and the context, and that we need to really take care of value and take care of what people really need. Because if they need facilitation, it's okay. We provide facilitation, but we need to be also be able and capable of delivering coaching when it's required, when it's opportune to the situation, and to to be able to be a consultant, to be facilitator, coaching, trainer. So the Scrum Master is the most plastic function inside the Scrum team. And I really want to remark when you explain that your internal feelings and processes will be what get contagious to the team. I really like that point, and I totally agree that we we should remember to focus in the inside world, not only what we observe. So if there is something we can change outside, is inside of us.
Very
And
true.
this is a remarkable point on this conversation. So if there is nothing more to add or remove, I think we are closing the event.
Yeah,
I want to thank you for investing your time in this conversation.
you're very welcome. And I want to thank you for this space and for opportunity to have this podcast and to share ideas and to have those very valuable insights.
Mhm. Glad to share. I love to share and also to create together. Uh, so I hope this became a community that we can expand and share it all together. So then, thanks for this opportunity, and see you next time.
See you. Have a nice evening. Oh, sorry, weekend. Yeah, we
Weekend,
usually
yeah.
yeah, we usually talk. uh,
Yeah, we have. It doesn't matter because a video is in every time and every moment. So we can
yeah,
say
yes,
good day, good afternoon, good night also.
yeah.
Depends.
It,
So time does not exist.
yeah. That's also so true.
So then I wish you have a nice day and hope you stay healthy and safety.
You too. See you. Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye bye.